Perfect. Hello, everyone. My name is Hallie Bethard, and I am the Director of Sales on the West Coast for the Muse Collection. Today, we have an amazing destination webinar for you, focusing on Northern Italian gems with our DMC Intertravel. And of course, we have some amazing hotels as well. We have Hotel Due Torri in Verona, Zena Palazzo Sant'Angelo, La Alberetta, Relais and Chateau, and Villa Eden, the private retreat. You'll be hearing and learning all about these lovely properties throughout our presentation today. And at the end, we will be doing a Q&A when you'll have the chance to win a $50 Visa gift card as well. So I'm going to pass it over to Luca to get us started for today.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you for organizing this. My name is Luca Rioli. I am the owner of Intertravel, which is one of the well-established DMC based in Italy, in Florence. It's a company started by my grandfather in 1950. And today, I think I can share my screen because I know we don't have a lot of time. We are going to see together about the northern Italian gems. Italy, as you know, is one of those destinations that feels immediately familiar, even to those who have never been here. The idea of Italy, it's universal. The cities are iconic, and the expectation is often that building an itinerary is simply a matter of connecting well-known places. But what becomes clear very quickly, especially when working closely with clients, is that Italy is not that simple, not because of distances, but because of depth. Each region carries a different identity, a different pace, a different emotional tone. And what we are exploring today is not just where to go, but how to think about Italy, how to structure it, how to pace it, and last, how to transform a series of destinations into something that feels fluid, intentional, and memorable. So, designing Italy. As I said, for many years, Italy has been sold through a very effective but very standardized model, a sequence of cities that clients recognize, combined in a way that feels safe and predictable. And while that model still works in many cases, it often produces itinerary that feels rushed, somehow dense, and increasingly exposed to over-tourism. What has changed is not Italy, it is the traveler. Clients today are more experienced, they have traveled more, they compare more, and they are far more aware of the differences between something that feels curated and something that feels generic. They are not necessarily asking for different destinations. What they are asking for, often without maybe articulating it, it's a different experience of those destinations. And that requires a shift in the approach from assembling itineraries to designing them, from thinking in terms of stops to thinking in terms of flow of the tour. So beyond the classic itineraries, we have to go. The traditional model still works, all to a point, but it tends to produce experiences that feel rushed, predictable, and most of the time crowded as well. Clients are evolving faster than itineraries. Of course, they do have access through the internet to many more information than they had before. They travel more, they compare more, and they are far more sensitive to the difference between something that feels curated and something that feels standard. What they are looking for is not always something unknown, but sometimes something that is better structured. And that requires a shift in thinking. It's not adding more, but refining, removing friction, introducing contrast, and allowing each destination to breathe a little bit more. Our journey today will start from the first region of the northern part of Italy, that is Lombardy. Lombardy, so it's the beginning of a journey, which is always critical. It set expectations, but more important, it set the pace of the tour. After a long international flight, clients very rarely benefit from being immediately immersed in a highly dense or complex destination. What they need, first of all, it's a sense of arrival, something that feels more structured yet not overwhelming. Lombardy, I believe, that offer exactly this kind of entry point. It introduced Italy with a sense of control, there is sophistication, but also space, a balance between movement and stillness that allows client to adjust naturally, both physically and mentally. From a logistical standpoint, this region is also one of the most efficient gateway into the country. Milan Malpensa, which is here, is the primary international hub with strong long-haul connectivity, while Milan Linate, which is very close to the city, serves more regional and European routes. Bergamo, it's the third airport in Milan, which is more on the east side. It's just outside the city and adds further flexibility, especially for those intra-European travelers. What makes Lombardy particularly effective is not just accessibility, but proximity. Within a relative short distance, often just over an hour, clients can arrive from an international airport to a completely different environment, like vineyards, lakes, softer landscape. This immediacy reduces travel fatigue and allows the journey to begin almost seamlessly. There's no need for long transfer or complex logistic at the very start, and that has a direct impact on how the entire itinerary is perceived. And that balance is incredibly valuable because when the journey starts well, everything that follows, we know, feels more natural, more fluid. At the end, it sets the very start of the tour. And if you start well, there is always the chance that everything else will be well perceived. What to see and do in Lombardia? Experiences in Lombardy should never feel demanding. This is not for sure the moment to challenge the client. It is not the moment, it is more the moment to recalibrate them. What works particularly well here are experiences that combine light structure with a sense of ease. Private tasting in Franciacorta, where the rhythm is slow and the setting is more intimate. Time spent on the water at Lake Iseo. Lake Iseo is one of the lakes that it's in Lombardy, less known probably than Lake Como, but in my opinion, much better. Also because here the movement is gentle and the landscape unfolds gradually, not like in the Lake Como, where the sense is more, to me, it's kind of more claustrophobic, to be honest with you. Even in Milan, experiences can be curated in a way that feels measured, focusing on design, uh, craftsmanship, or quieter cultural moments rather than dense sightseeing. The key is not activity, but pacing, allowing clients to engage without effort, to feel present without being overwhelmed. And here there are some, as an example, hidden gems that I put, as I said, Monte Isola, which is a little island in the Lake Iseo, Franciacorta for the small wineries, Brera in Milan for the artisan workshop, Bergamo Alta, which is the upper city, and Crespidadda, which very few people know. It's a UNESCO industrial village. Is a perfectly preserved 19th century company town in Lombardia, founded in 1870 78 by Cristoforo Benigno Crespi. It was designed as an ideal worker village, offering homes, gardens, schools, and health service to his workers. So it's very interesting to visit. What to eat and drink. I wanted to include in the presentation of each region also this part, because we all know that Italy, especially this year, it's well known and for the food and the wine. The food and wine, it's one of the most important thing that the clients always ask us when we have to craft an itinerary. And understanding the difference, it also helped them understanding the Italian culture. Lombardy cuisine is often understated, yet is one of the most authentic expression of regional Italian cooking. Unlike other parts of Italy where food is more recognizable, here everything feels more grounded, more structured, and deeply connected to the territory. It reflects a region that has historically been both agricultural and industrial, so practical but refined. Dishes tend to be built around a few key ingredients, executed with precision rather than complexity. Il risotto alla milanese is a perfect example. Simple, it appears simple, yet it's incredibly layered in flavors and technique. And the same can be said for traditional stuffed pasta like casoncelli, where you can find lots of different variation around the region. And there is also a strong presence of mountain influence, particularly in the area closer to the Alps, where polenta and richer preparation become more common. When it comes to wine, however, is where Lombardy truly reveal an unexpected level of sophistication. Franciacorta stands out not only as a product, but as a positioning tool. It offers a style of wine that is elegant, precise, and often comparable in quality to some of the best sparkling wines in Europe. So what makes Lombardy effective at the beginning of a journey is exactly this balance. The cuisine is rich enough to feel satisfying, yet not overwhelming. The wine is refined, but yet approachable. So it creates a first connection with Italy that feels authentic. Now we are going to see where to stay, and I'm happy to introduce to l'Albereta in Franciacorta.
Hello, everybody. It's Irene. I don't know if you're hearing me, but I guess yes. So I'm the sales manager for l'Albereta Relais Chateau. Welcome to Franciacorta. We are in the north of Italy, as Luca said, and we are in this amazing region, which is the Franciacorta region. Franciacorta region is very famous for the production of the so-called Italian champagne. As you can see from the map, location-wise, we are very close to Gara, 40 minutes from Garda and 45 from Milano. As you can see from the map, we have this small lake very close, Lago di Iseo, Lake Iseo. Luca was mentioning Lake Iseo before, but we are also very close to other two lakes, so Maggiore and Como, so 1 hour and a half from both. And Milano Malpensa is 1 hour and a half from l'Albereta, so main airport very close to l'Albereta. As you can see from the map, we are also very close to Verona and Venice. So you have many different options for including l'Albereta in your itineraries. So if you're looking for the Lake District, or for example, the northern Italian best cities, or if you're looking for Dolomites, we are 2 hours and a half from Dolomites. So the location is very strategic. So l'Albereta is a relais chateau since the very beginning, 53 rooms. Relais Chateau since like the very, very beginning, so 33 years now. 61 hectares park, surrounded by 61 hectares park, and the majority of this park is vineyard. So we are in this amazing hill, Bella Vista Hill, and the hill is composed for the majority by our vineyard. We are also a medical destination because we have an amazing spa with a Sheno brand, 2,000 square meter Sheno spa, 2 floors, 30 people working daily at our spa. So we are a medical destination because we offer medical programs. So we have many clients coming to L'Alberetta also for this reason. We have 5 restaurants plus 1, so also the gastronomic proposal is very important, and also our activities. So if you come to L'Alberetta, if you come to the Franciacorta region, you can really do a wide varieties of activity. First of all, Bella Vista Winery, our family winery. So it's inside the property. You can try our wines. You can explore the property. It's an amazing activity. Then you can explore, for example, I don't remember the next slide. Maybe it's the lake, Luca. Yes, so you can explore the lake with an amazing tour of the Lago di Iseo with an original riva boat, because Lago di Iseo is very famous for the riva shipyard. So the famous riva boat you can find in Como, they're actually crafted next to L'Alberetta, in 12 minutes from L'Alberetta. So you can see the museum, you can enjoy the lake with a riva boat tour, you can do an aperitivo, or you can do a lot of sports, hiking, biking, canoeing, horseback riding, a lot of sports. And then you can also visit the Porsche Experience Center in 15 minutes from the property. If your clients want to explore something new, sportive cars. So if they have, I don't know, have enough shopping, food, and the lake, they can go to the Porsche Experience Center and they can enjoy the different tracks, the go-kart. They have restaurant inside, so it's an amazing activities. You can do in group, you can do in couple, also for kids. They have shops, so many activities, a lot of food, a lot of wine, but also an amazing spa. So it's a big box of so many great things, L'Alberetta. We're open all year round, actually, so it's very important to know this aspect, because when the majority of our colleagues is closed, we're open, so you can explore what's in the nearby when the other they are closed. So it's very, very important to know this aspect of L'Alberetta. Done with the time, yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for this quick, very quick presentation of the amazing, amazing hotel. And now we are moving to the next region. So we are going now to Veneto. Veneto is well known, of course, for Venice, but not only. Veneto introduced a different layer to the journey, of course, one that is more intense, more cultural, and more emotionally engaging. Venice, in particular, is unlike any other destination in the world. It has a density, not just physical, but sensory, that demands attention. And this is precisely why it needs to be positioned carefully. When approached without structure, Venice can feel overwhelming, but when designed correctly, it becomes one of the most powerful moments of the entire journey. At the same time, Veneto offers the possibility to balance that intensity. Cities like Verona, which I love completely, provide a different scale, a different rhythm, one that allows clients to step back, to breathe, to process. And it is this combination, intensity followed by release, that gives the region its strength. What to see and do in Veneto? Experiencing Veneto is about managing contrast. In Venice, the experience should feel immersive but controlled. Private access, carefully timed visits, because as you know, probably Venice during the day is extremely crowded. So finding the correct time is key for this city. And also curated routes make all the difference when planning a tour to Venice. It's not about seeing more, it is about seeing better. Verona offers a natural counterpoint. Its scale is more approachable, its rhythm more relaxed, and the atmosphere is more grounded. And just beyond the wine region, introduce yet another dimension, one that is slower, more sensory, and deeply connected to the landscape. Together, these elements create a progression that keeps in mind of the clients. Some hidden gems, I've taken note about Canareggio district in Venice for the local life, Torcello Island to add when you do Murano Burano, Valpolicella for the wine. There are a lot of small wine estates. The arena in Verona, which is worldwide famous for the opera during the summertime, and Asolo village. Asolo is a must-visit destination in Italy, is known as the city of 100 horizons. It offers breathtaking view and charming atmosphere. This little hidden gem draw artists, writers, and poets for its picturesque hill town. So it's definitely a very small village, but something somewhere to be seen. Now, what to eat and drink? Veneto is one of those regions where food and wine are not simply part of the experience. They are a direct reflection of its geography and history as well. What makes it particularly interesting is the diversity within a relative compact area. You move from the Lagoon of Venice, where the cuisine is shaped by water, of course, to the inland plains and hills, where ingredients and techniques shift quite dramatically. In Venice, flavors tend to be more delicate, more nuanced. Dishes like baccalà mantecato or risotto al nero di seppia are not about intensity, but about balance. They reflect a long history of trade, of spices, of external influence that have been absorbed and refined over time. As you move inland, the cuisine becomes more structured. Pasta like bigoli, often served with richer sauces, introduce a different depth. While in areas like Valpolicella, food and wine become, I would say, inseparable. And this is where wine plays a central role. Probably, to me, one of the best red wine that there is in Italy, my very favorite, Amarone in particular, is not just a wine, it's an experience in itself. The structure, its intensity, and the way it is produced make it something that clients remember. They don't just taste. And from Verona, you can go and visit some of the most impressive Amarone wine producers. At the same time, Veneto also offers contrast through Prosecco, also well known all over the world, lighter, more approachable, and often associated with a more relaxed social moment within the journey, like a spritz. This duality is what makes the region so effective from a planning perspective. You can move from refined, almost ethereal flavors in Venice to something deeper and more grounded inland, creating variation without ever losing coherence. And from a selling point of view, this is extremely powerful because it allows you to adapt the culinary experience to the client while still maintaining a strong sense of place. Last but not least, food and wine in Veneto are not just an addition to the itinerary. They are one of the clearest way to express the identity of the region and one of the most memorable elements of the entire journey. Now we are moving to the first hotel of this region, is the hotel where you have to go in Verona, is my very favorite. So, Hotel Due Torri in Verona. Giorgia.
Buongiorno, good morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here today, Director of Sales of the Due Torri Hotels Collection, and today I will tell you a little bit about our gem in Verona. It's literally the place to stay, as Luca said. In Verona, it is the historical Grand Hotel of the city. We have more than 8 centuries. The building is a medieval palace in the very city center of our amazing Verona. The property is the only leading hotels of the world member, and we are part of a collection of 4 luxury properties in the center north part of Italy, including Grand Hotel Majestic in Bologna, Bernini Palace in Florence, and the Bristol Palace in Genova. But promise I will not present all the 4, but I will stay focused on my beloved Verona, where I'm based. As you already know, probably we are very close to the great majority of the big cities of the north of Italy, and we are very well known to be the capital of love, because you have seen the balcony of Juliet in a previous slide. We are the city of love. Romeo and Juliet history, a love story or tragedy, as you want to say, is based in Verona, but most of all, we are very proud to be the city of the Opera Festival. We have an amazing Roman amphitheater in the very heart of the city center, 5 minutes walking distance from our property. And every summertime, we are very lucky to have this incredible festival. We still use this 2,000 years old amphitheater to entertain people. We don't have gladiators, we don't have tigers, no more, but we have a lot of music in the open air. The hotel is official sponsor of the festival. This is a very important point to tell you. We can help you with the tickets, with any VIP experience you would like to have at the arena. We have a Michelin-star dinner every night literally inside the arena, and this is the only place on the planet where you can have a dinner inside a 2,000 years Roman amphitheater. This is very, very unique. The property, as you can see, it's a very historical palace. This is an old picture of the property, an old painting of property in front of Santa Anastasia Basilica, the Cathedral of Santa Anastasia, that is the biggest one in the city. And just a couple of minutes walking distance, you will find everything you may need. The balcony of Juliet for the romantic guests, but all the bars and the shops are just around the corner. It's a very quiet city, not overcrowded, and romantic itself for the atmosphere and for the charm you will see around in these narrow streets that we have. The property has in total 9 rooms and suites. You see the style is typical classic, Italian classic with a touch of Venetian mood. All the property has been completely renovated in the rooms, the bathrooms, the common areas, and we are very ready to welcome your clients, maintaining, of course, our classic identity, but in an up-to-date setting. We have 2 restaurants, the only rooftop terrace of the city with an incredible view on the city center, and a second restaurant called Bistro al Due, open all year round inside the property. Of course, the food is typical Italian with some more regional and Veneto dishes. For people who love wine, Luca loves Amarone, but also our clients are very happy to taste our Valpolicella wines. We have a huge variety, huge collection of red wines on property. All the 4 hotels, just quick information, are represented by the Muse, of course, not only the Duettori Hotel in Verona. And I think my time is over, so I don't have any more time.
This was your last. This was your last slide.
So
yes.
Thank you so much for your attention. For anything you may need, we are at your complete disposal, and also the team of the Muse Collection will be always happy to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Giorgia. And again, I have to say, and to be really honest, every time I go to Verona, even before I've met her, this hotel was my only one place where to go, because the location is unbelievably great. Now we are moving to the next city in Veneto, which is Venice, of course. Venice doesn't need any introduction. It speaks by itself. So it's your turn now.
Thank you, Luca. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm the account director at Sina Hotels, and today I'm going to present you our 5-star boutique hotel in Venice. And I'm going to share with you some unique selling points that you can share with your clients to point out our beautiful Sina Centurion Palace in Venice. So first of all, I would like to point out the position. So we have a very exclusive and unique position. We are between Santa Maria della Salute and the Guggenheim Collection Museum. And most important thing to remember is that we are absolutely out of the crowd. So we are just on the right side of the canal, out of the crowd, facing the San Marco Square, and you can reach the other side of the canal just crossing the Grand Canal through the public gondola. That is a very unique experience. In 5 minutes, you are in San Marco Square, or you just have a walk, and in 10 minutes through Accademia Bridge, you are in San Marco. So this is really authentic and exclusive position. We are an historical building, and this is our courtyard. So this is the entrance of the hotel. The other unique selling point for us is that we are an historical building, but we have modern style in terms of rooms, common areas. For example, this is one of our junior suite. So you have the modern touch, but you can feel and breathe the soul of Venice in every corner of our hotel. We have 50 rooms and suites. And we also have 2 3-bedroom suites. And this is the amazing living room facing the Grand Canal with a big balcony overlooking Venice. And from this kind of rooms, you can see the San Marco Square. Another of our unique selling points at Siena Centurion Palace is that we have terraces overlooking the canal. So I think it's next slide. You can enjoy our food and beverage areas. So these are the terraces just right on the Grand Canal. You can have an aperitivo with the Venetian spritz, enjoying the golden hour. Or you can have a beautiful dinner inside our restaurant that is still facing this amazing view. We also organize special cocktails, private dinner, private celebrations. So I think this is right, the very best location in Venice, because as Luca said, the problem in Venice is often the overcrowding. But here you are in the heart of the city, outside the crowd, but still very, very close to the main attractions of the city. So thank you for your time, and waiting for you in Venice.
Thank you very much. And again, this is a great hotel. We work a lot with them. We love it because, as she said, you are a little bit outside the crowd, and this is what we are looking for. And we are now moving to the last region, and we are going to Trentino Alto Adige. Okay, now we have to talk about a little bit about explaining geography, because Trentino Alto Adige is it's kind of a very unique region. When we talk about this part of Italy, it is important to stop for a moment and clarify something that often creates confusion. Trust me, even a lot of Italians don't still have the picture of it. We are in a region called Trentino Alto Adige. Within it, there are 2 distinct areas. Trentino, which is the southern part, the one in brown, dark brown, and South Tyrol or Alto Adige, the one that you see in light brown, which is the northern part. Now, the key to understand this region lies in its history. South Tyrol was not originally Italian. It was part of the historical region of Tyrol, which today largely belongs to Austria. Only after the First World War was this territory annexed to Italy, and that legacy is still very much present today. This is why when you arrive here, things feel different almost immediately. German is widely spoken, often as a first language. Architecture has a distinctly Central European character. Even the rhythm of daily life the organization, which is definitely something not part of the Italian being, I would say, and the attention to detail. Everything reflects a cultural influence that is not typically Italian. Trentino, on the other hand, feels more recognizable Italian. It shares the Alpine landscape, but culturally, it is closer to what clients expect when they think of Italy. And this distinction is not just academic. It is extremely important when designing an itinerary. Because what you're offering here is not just a change of scenery, but a change of identity. Clients are not simply moving north, they are experiencing a different interpretation of Italy. And this is precisely what makes this region so powerful within a journey. It introduces contrast, it challenges expectation, and it expand the narrative of what Italy can be. What to see and do. Often when I talk with agents or people about Trentino and the Dolomites, everyone thinks that is an area where only young couple can go river rafting, rock climbing, biking, or very active tourism. And that's not true. What makes South Tyrol truly distinctive is not so much what clients see, but how they experience the environment around them. This is a region where the landscape is not a backdrop. It is the main character, and everything revolves around it. Activities here are very rarely about ticking off landmarks. Instead, they are built around movement, perspective, and connection with nature. Simple moments become meaningful. A walk along the Tappener Promenade. I'm sorry if my pronunciation in German is not perfect. In Merano, for example, is not just a stroll. It offers a constantly shifting view over the valley, a sense of openness that contrasts completely with the density of cities like Venice. The garden of the Trautmannsdorf introduce another layer. They are curated, yes, but in a way that feels integrated with the landscape rather than imposed on it. Even when clients move into the Dolomites or smaller alpine village, the experience remains consistent. Less about visiting, more about being present in the environment. There is also a strong connection to local life. Visiting small alpine farms, for example, it's not positioned as a touristic activity, but as an opportunity to understand how the territory is lived and maintained. And then there is wellness, which in South Tyrol is not an added service, but part of the culture. Thermal experiences, spa rituals, and time dedicated to rest are integrated into the rhythm of the stay. They are not interruption to the itinerary, they are essential component of it. So from a planning perspective, this is where the journey change pace. After more structured and cultural destinations, South Tyrol allows for a release. The schedule open up, time becomes less rigid, and clients begin to experience Italy in a more personal way. And this shift is incredibly valuable because it doesn't just add variety, it creates also a sense of closure that feels complete, balanced, and deeply memorable. And I would say also that when you structure a tour that starts from Milan all the way to Trentino, it's the best way to end up with a more relaxed destination. Now, the food in South Tyrol immediately signs that you are in a different part of Italy, as everything there. There is a noticeable shift, not just in ingredients, but in structure, presentation, and even in the way meals are experienced. This is a region where Italian culinary tradition meets Central European influence, and the result is something very distinctive, very different. Dishes tend to be more precise, often lighter, and strongly tied to seasonality. You see this in preparation like the canederli, a very typical type of pasta, simple, comforting, yet carefully balanced, or in the use of local ingredients such as the speck and the alpine cheeses, which of course reflect both preservation technique and mountain culture. Even dessert like the apple strudel reinforce this dual identity. They feel familiar but not typically Italian in the way client might expect. And for the wine follows the same pattern. South Tyrol produce some of the most interesting white wines in Italy, especially variety like the Gewürztraminer, which thrive in this alpine climate. These wines are much more aromatic, clean, and highly expressive of the environment. And at the same time, reds such as Lagrange introduce structure, but in a more restrained and elegant way compared to other Italian regions. So after experiencing more traditional Italian cuisine, arriving in South Tyrol creates a sense of discovery. And from a planning perspective, this is incredibly valuable because it leaves client with a broader, more nuanced understanding of the country. When it comes where to stay, here we are with Villa Eden, and I think Barbara now can tell you more about this beautiful hotel.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Luca. My name is Barbara. I'm Director of Sales and Marketing for Villa Eden Private Retreat, which is indeed in Merano, in one of the main city in South Tyrol. And thank you, Luca, very much for really explaining so well what our region is about. This is you made it really clear, also to me, lady, because it's definitely not so easy to understand. But what Luca said about this experience within the experience of South Tyrol, it's really true. So you have this incredible feeling of almost not being in Italy, but you are in Italy at the same time. So you have the best of both worlds in a way. When you were saying that everything is so neat and precise and clean, so this is probably like the more Nordic kind of influence of the Austrians. But then you have the art of the Italian part, and yes, the food is very particular, but every region in Italy has its own particular type of food, and we are near the mountain, so there is a lot of tradition related to mountain dishes as well. But we are Italian also in what we offer, and the Trentino in itself, which is the southest part of the region, is also a big producer of apples. And one thing that always strikes me is that there are these huge fields of apple trees which you can visit in the spring. Actually, now this is the time. And when they are in blossom, it's like going to Japan for the cherry blossom. You're just walking in the fields of the apple trees with all in bloom, and it's just amazing. So let's have just a little look at Villa Eden, which is a boutique property. We are leading hotels of the world. We only have 25 suites. Is the video working, Luca? The video you have,
Let me see.
the previous slides should be working if
Yeah.
you, okay. So just that you have a little feeling. It used to be a private villa, so with 25 suites now, and it's nested in a beautiful park. All the suites actually overlook the park. We have an outdoor beautiful pool, also an indoor. We have also a very important longevity spa, and I will tell you in a moment about that. One important thing to remember, we are adults only. So we take children from 13, 14 and up because we have this very strong wellness imprint. So Villa Eden was actually the first beauty, let's say beauty retreat in Italy, which opened about 40 years ago. It's family owned and managed up until nowadays. So also the real feeling that you get through the house, it's very very much like a private elegant home. Thank you, Luca. You can just move. We're just looking at some of the interiors. So they are mostly contemporary, but it's Italian design, but still with a classic traditional kind of flavor. Besides that, another important aspect to know about Villa Eden is its cuisine. We spoke about the Alto Adige and Südtiroler cuisine. At Villa Eden, it's slightly different because we are a longevity wellness retreat. So also what we offer in terms of food, it's very much healthy, still maintaining a very gourmet style. So we have different places for our guests to eat within the hotel, because we have some clients that come to Villa Eden to do like a full detox program or a full longevity program. But we're also open to leisure clients that are just coming for the beautiful nature, the microclimate that Merano has, which we haven't really talked about, but it's indeed so incredible that you can actually spend almost like 300 days. There is sun in Merano over a year. So there are many reasons why clients will come. Somebody wants to be very active and can do all sorts of sports, hiking, biking, horseback riding, golfing, very adventurous one or less adventurous, hikes of all different kinds. The Castel Trautsmendorf, which Luca mentioned, is a beautiful botanical garden, which is just a few minutes walking distance within the hotel. The vineyard, and we're also very lucky to have our own vineyard. The family that owns Villa Eden also owned Castello Ramez, which produce exquisite wines. And we actually bring all of our clients to make the experience of visiting the vineyard. There is a very ancient cellars, and then obviously ends with a nice wine tasting experience. So going back to the spa, we have this Longevity Institute and a multi-awarded spa where we do treatments of all kinds. Some are very also medical, and others are more pampering of general wellness, but very, very advanced and very of the newest technologies. For just to give you an example, we just introduced a new laser therapy, which is called the low-level laser therapy, which is done inside the vein. So it's a very, very particular laser therapy that just very few property do in Europe, and in Italy, I think we are the only ones. Ozone, oxygen therapy, IV therapies, all of that we have been the first to introduce in Italy. And I see that we're coming up to the very last slides just to present you Angelica and Hannes, who are the owners. Angelica is also the general manager, so she will personally greet your clients. She's basically in the hotel almost every day, and that really makes also the difference when you know where you are sending your clients and who is actually going to taking care of them. I mentioned we are leading hotels, we're also Virtuoso and Serendipians, and we have 2 Michelin keys. So I really invite you to come, because experiencing our region, which is so different, so particular, and also the hotel really, helps also to sell it to your clients. So anytime, please just let me know, or let Hali know, or the Muse Collection. If you have any question, here we are.
Thank you very much, Barbara, for this great presentation of the hotel. And now we are going to wrap it up. So designing the journey. If there is one idea to take away from today, it is that a journey is not defined by where clients go, but by how those places are connected. It is relatively easy to build an itinerary that looks correct on paper, the right destinations, well-known names, strong hotels, everything appears to be in place. And yet, when experienced, something can feel slightly off. Not necessarily wrong, but not entirely seamless either. that difference comes down to design. Design is, in this context, is not about aesthetics. It is about structure. It is about how the journey moves, how it unfolds, and how each destination prepares the client for what comes next. The first element is flow. Distance in Italy are often short, but perception matters far more than actual time. A transfer that is perfectly reasonable on a map can feel long and disruptive if it comes at the wrong moment, especially early in the journey or after an intense experience. When flow is correct, movement feels natural, almost unnoticeable. Then there is pacing. Not every destination should carry the same weight. Some places require attention, energy, and certain level of engagement. Others should offer the opposite: space, lightness, and the opportunity to slow down. Without this balance, even the most beautiful itinerary becomes tiring. And finally, contrast. Contrast is what creates memory, and memory is what your clients bring back home. Moving from the water of Venice to the openness of Verona and then into the alpine landscape of South Tyrol, this shift gives each destination a clear identity. Without contrast, everything blends together. With it, each place became distinct. And this is where the role of a DMC become essential, of course, not in selecting individual elements, but orchestrating them, understanding how geography, timing, and client expectation interact, and translating that into a journey that feels effortless. Because when this is done well, clients do not see the structure, they simply experience it as something natural. And that is the final goal. Italy is not difficult to sell. Designing it well is where the difference lies. So, everything we have discussed today, flow, pacing, contrast, is not theoretical. It is exactly how we approach every itinerary we design. Our role is not simply to provide service or to connect bookings. It is to translate the complexity of Italy into something that feels clear, structured, natural for both you and your clients. We work across the entire country, but the principle remain the same everywhere. Understanding how regions interact, knowing when to slow down, when to move, when to introduce contrast, and most important, adapting all of these to the clients, because no two journeys should ever feel the same. What we aim to do is give you confidence that what we are proposing will work not only on paper but in reality, and that the experience will feel seamless, consistent, and aligned from the beginning to the end. Because the ultimate goal, that is where the value of a strong local partner lies. And so with this, let's design your next Italy journey together. Thank you, everyone. And I think that now I've finished with my presentation.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Luca. I appreciate you guiding us through all these lovely regions, and to our hotels for being here as well. I think there's a few more questions for you, Barbara, in the chat, and I'm going to pull up our quiz right now, so stick along for that. Be one moment here. And as a reminder, we'll be sending you the recording and our partner's contact information so you're able to get a hold of them, and then they'll also be receiving yours as well. Let's see here. Okay. I'm so sorry, but I'm having some technical difficulties for the quiz, so I don't believe we're going to be able to do that today. I'm so sorry. Now that I had it, I'll keep trying for a little bit longer, but I think there's a minimum stay question in August, if there is one at Villa Eden.
Maybe I'm trying to reply in the chat, but maybe I can just say, which is easier for everyone. So minimum stay we only have during high season, and our highest season is really August. So we do have the minimum stay in August, but other than that, you can also stay even just 1 night or 2 nights. I would suggest at least 3 nights to discover, the destination, enjoy a little bit also the hotel. Somebody was asking when Murano is closed, but pay attention, is Merano with an E. Murano is in Venice, so it's two different things. And the city of Merano actually never closed itself because it's only at 300 meters above the sea level. So don't imagine like going up in the Dolomites in a village up in the mountains. So also for just to give you a full idea, the South Tyrol is not in the Dolomites, so we are very close. So you can also visit the Dolomites from Merano. About 45 minutes, you can reach destination in the Dolomites, but it's a mountains and alpine settings. So you have the mountains around. The city is in a valley though, so it's not up in the mountain. That's why the village actually is very lovely. It has 40,000 inhabitants, so it's a sort of like a medium-sized city with shops, restaurants, bars, a lot of activities, festivals in the summer, music festivals of jazz, classical music. We have the wine festival in November, the Christmas markets in end of November, beginning of December, through the festive. We at Villa Eden, we are also open during festive season. So we close at the end of the festive season, mid-January, and we then reopen at the end of February. So we're only closed for 1 month, more or less. So I hope I got all the answers.
I think you did. Thank you. And then Luca, you have a quick question as well. And before we get to that, I'm unable to fix the issue on my end, and I don't want to keep everybody. So I'll let Luca answer, and then I'll say goodbye to everyone. Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was on mute. Question about visiting Asolo. Day trip from Venice or Verona, or stay for a few nights? No, I would do a day trip. You can do a day trip, but of course you have to add one more night because you are using that day for going to Asolo.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And thank you again, Luca, for guiding us through all these regions
No
and
problem.
for everything, being amazing partners. We truly appreciate it. And we're always honored to work with all of you. So thank you very much. And I hope everyone has a great rest of their day and evening. I'll be sending the recording as well.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, bye.
Ciao.